Welcome everyone to Red G Fox. Yes, today we are going to go through our top 10 all-time Sanford and Son history. What are the best? And this is based on just experts, ratings, and my opinion as well. You know, it's not my list. It's more of kind of like majority's list. And we even have IMDb's ratings to go with each episode to prove in this selection that I made, is it right? You know, but let's start right away. It's so much to get through, so I'm going to go as quick as I can. Starting with number 10, and that is My Fair Esther. You take Fred and you take Esther. You already have instant comedy. You team them up on the same team, and that is comedy perfection. In this episode, Fred and Esther team up to try to be Miss Watts' businessman's wife, beauty pageant. And oh my gosh, the scenes of them together trying to improve Esther's posture and the comedy lines through it and just them together there. And then you take the beauty pageant, the whole series there with them together. And the best part, why I think this just is one of the most iconic scenes in the show's history, Fred and Esther doing a singing duet together. It's perfection. It has to be. I know it's not the most popular, but when you base it on what is going on in the episode with the duet and them teaming up, and the comedy and the reoccurring joke of Woody constantly saying, hey, I got to ask you something. And then Lamont and then Fred. And they're like, oh, the liquor's over there. And Woody's like, you know, I quit drinking. And he keeps returning to drink. That's just a side part. It's got to be top 10. So number 10, My Fair Esther. And when it comes down to rating, it got a 7.3 out of 10. And it came from season 5. So let's move on to number 9, Jealousy. One name, Osgood Wilcox, and you instantly go, oh my gosh, I remember him. He only appeared in one episode. He is sophisticated, well-spoken, gentleman, and one of the most memorable characters in show history, and just made one appearance. This is from season 2, and the rating was 7.7, so it is a little higher than our number 10, My Fair Esther. In this one, Donna brings over a patient, and Fred and Lamont are thinking it's some old dude who can't do anything, and he walks in and he is in great shape. He becomes a huge rival for Fred, who honestly, according to Donna, shouldn't even have been a rival. The guy doesn't even realize how sick he is. But what goes on in that episode is some of the funniest, well-written stuff we've ever seen in show history. The love triangle between Donna, Fred, and Donna, Osgood Wilcox, be of good cheer, Osgood is here. It is classic. It is one where if the show was new, which it was season 2, it really puts you on the map. And it just shows how great this show was going to be, which it went on to do. But in it, overall, the love scene at the end, you also get where Donna and Fred make up at the end. And Fred, anytime you have Fred singing, it's a memorable episode. And who will forget when Osgood drops to the floor and Fred says, this guy's crazy. He drops the N-bomb on Wilcox. The audience, I've even said in a fun fact, when Fred, Red Fox ad-libbed that actually had the audience laughing for 6 straight minutes. It wasn't supposed to be in the episode. At the end, the audience asked, are you going to keep it in? The director and the producer put it up to the crowd and they said, yes, leave it in. And it did. So just a little side fact for though. But number 9, coming in, Jealousy. I will always love that episode and I can watch that one for the rest of my life and always laugh like it's a first time. And now coming in at number 8 is Coffins for Sale. Yes, it's one of the best of season 1. It probably is, in my opinion, the best episode for season 1. It got an 8.0 rating. As you see, each episode, the ratings are going better as it should. From season 1, you take Fred's superstition. You take Lamont's doubt and then starts to turn into fear. And you take the debut of Melvin, Slappy White. One of my favorite characters I've spoken about on this channel. All of that, and you get Coffins for Sale, which brings great hysterical laughs throughout the whole thing. Lamont gets 2 coffins. He brings them to the house. He wants to sell them. Fred is like, I'm not having that. I ain't even going to sleep in this house. You get to the point where even Melvin won't come in the house. And after that, they go to bed that night, and Fred's sleeping on the truck. Lamont's like, hey, get back in here. And everything's happening where Lamont's too scared to even stay in his own house because he's fallen for, it's contagious. You know how it is in life. Things can get contagious, and it is. Lamont won't stay in the house. He ends up sleeping on the truck with Fred, but the lines throughout that one where Fred, he keeps waking up Fred and scaring the crap out of him in his own backyard or his front yard. And he even says, hey, Pop, you awake? And Fred's like, no, I'm checking the back of my eyelids for cracks. Oh my gosh. It is no doubt best of season 1 and makes our top 10 list. Coming in number 8, Coffins for Sale. Number 7 on our list, coming in, The Card Sharps. We just broke this down recently on our channel. On the rating, it got IMDb, it got an 8.2. That is outstanding because most are in the average in the 7s. It comes from season 2. So with The Card Sharps, you basically get Rooster, Skeeter, and Hucklebuck. Now, what does a Hucklebuck do? That's all you got to say, and you know this episode's going to be full of humor. It's one of my all-time favorite. I got to put it in the top 10. It's one of the audience's all-time favorite. The fact it's 8.2. Lamont thinks he knows best and ignores all of Fred's warnings when Lamont plays poker with the 3 other individual, kind of like con men, who lost him on purpose. Now they did that. Fred knew too, and throughout the whole episode, Fred has hysterical I can't even get the word. I can't get it. Who cares? He tries all these different ways to stop Lamont and warn him, and Lamont keeps ignoring him. The best being, in my opinion, the phone call, and where he even tells him, dummy, and hangs up on him. So at the end, it's nonstop laughs. At the very end, Fred teaches this group of young guys and Lamont that age and wisdom is far better than their youth and cockiness. It has to be 2 or 3, one of the best of season 2, and it comes in our top 10 of all time at number 7, The Card Sharps. Here we go, number 6 on this list. This is one of my top all-time favorite, but based on ratings and other things, number 6, Super Flyer. Yeah, we know that one where Fred and Lamont are on a plane. IMDb gives it an 8.2. Once again, the scores are getting higher. We're following on the right track. It's from season 3. My gosh, you can make probably a top 10 list alone on season 3. In this one, Fred's Uncle Leotis, I don't know that fool, Uncle Leotis dies and leaves Fred $1,500. But he must fly to St. Louis to get it. That is the catch. And they have no idea what's waiting for him when they get there. Fred, Lamont, and an airplane equals unforgettableness. As we get on there, Fred can do any possible way he can to embarrass Lamont unintentionally. He's got the chicken wings trying to give it to second class. He's telling a guy who's like 6 feet tall, Moose, hey, you can call me whatever you want, Moose. He wants an oxygen mask. He wants an emergency exit. The whole time they're looking for the stewardess, Jackie. That was a running joke back in the 70s from I think United Air, whatever it was, did Jackie. They do finally see her at the end, which will go on to one of our other top 10 episodes coming up in a bit. But yeah, through that whole episode, oh my goodness, it is one of the funniest right there. The flight scene alone really, really is, I would say, top 5 best scenes in show history. The overall episode, though, is coming in at number 6. The plane ride, yeah, it's got to be top, so it has to be on this list. Super Flyer. Now we get to our top 5. This is one where my list at least differs from probably IMDb. This comes in at 7.5, so it's a big dip from 8.2. I just can't leave it off the top 10 list. And that is Grady and his lady. We know it's Dolly. In this one, Grady meets the love of his life at JC. At JCPenney's. When he says that, I love that part. The funniest part is Grady is so excited. He's telling Lamont and Fred how, oh, he's a lover. And she said, no one's to her. So I said, no one's to mine. You know, he was ready. It's such a classic scene. You even see Red Fox and Damon Wilson crack. They break character. They actually laugh in some of these scenes. But in this, Grady tells him, he lets him know but when he tells them, Fred and Lamont are less than excited when they actually meet Dolly. You know, he pumps her up as this beautiful Dolly. They give the look, and it's the same lady that played Jackie in the previous when we talked about Super Flyer. She's there, and Grady wants to be, claims, hey, she's this beautiful lady, and they get to it. It comes with a catch, though. Fred is going to lose his longtime TV watching buddy, Grady. She says, oh, he won't have time for that anymore. So now Fred has to do whatever he can, and he does. That's my robe. What's she doing with my robe? Why didn't you give her your robe? He stops it, sabotages it, and tries to keep him from getting married, which actually they do get married later in Sanford Arms. That's something I didn't know because I never watched Sanford Arms that much, but they actually do get married. But in this one, it does end thanks to Fred and his hygiene stopping it. Grady and his lady, I just can't see it not being top 5. It's unless you don't like Grady, which we've actually seen some people say. It's continuous laughs with Grady, with the whole story of how they met at JCPenney's and the charcoal gray beard, and how Grady thinks she's trying to take his money. Oh, I can't do a breakdown. That's it. That is number 5. Let's get to our number 4. Coming in at number 4, as we just said, is presenting the 3 degrees. We want the 3 degrees. We want... You have to, I'm sorry. I know based on the rating, it's 7.7. So it is higher than our last one, but it's not in the 8s. I'm shocked that the 3 Degrees is not in the 8s. That is one of the, you take 3 beautiful women. You take Lamont and Rollo as managers. You take them singing a great song, I didn't know, to Fred, right? That's a great scene right there when they're living with him and he's even jiving and singing with them. And then you take Bubba, Leroy, and Skillet at the nightclub, and you have instant mega hit. It's got everything in this one. The only missing, what I would say, would be Grady. In this one, the 3 Degrees, they want to go. The best scene will be when it's at the nightclub as they try to compete. They want to compete and win a singing contest. Rollo's their manager, but when Fred and Bubba and Leroy and Skillet come as supporting to help them, they basically heckle everyone else off the stage. They don't even get a shot, and they cause a huge mess and get thrown out. It is so good when you go, yo grandma, oh, yo mama, and then Leroy, the way he says it, oh, it's great. It's one of the best all time. That's why it has to be number 4. I don't know how many times, I can never get tired of that, especially the nightclub scene and seeing those beautiful women sing their songs. It's definitely a top 10 episode, regardless of what IMDb, which is still good at 7.7, but under 8. Number 3, this is it. We are on our top 3 all-time Sanford and Son episodes, which is incredibly hard to make, but still, please comment below as well if you don't like it, if you think, oh, this shouldn't be there, this should be there. There's always some episode someone loves that might be someone else's not so great episode. So I will take all comments. I don't mind taking the heat. But as we get to our top 3, let's get to it right now. Man, these are some of the best all time, and this, I don't think you'll get too many disputes with this one. Coming in at 3, that is Fred Sanford, Legal Eagle. Yes! The IMDb gives it 8.5, and I can't disagree with that right there. 8.5. It is one of the highest, it is in the top 3 ratings of all time on IMDb. It's from season 3. I told you a lot of these are season 3. In this one, you take Sonny Cochran, who is actually based off of Johnny Cochran, the lawyer. They've actually said that. That's a fun fact. The best lawyer / tailor in California. He gives great legal advice to Lamont, who just got his 3rd ticket this year. You get 3 tickets, you get your license suspended, or he's got his 2nd. This is going to be his 3rd in 1 year. You can get your license suspended. And Fred says, no more truck, no more Sanford, no more no more Son. It'll be nothing but right? They'll lose their business. So they got to fight it. They can't take a chance of getting another ticket. And Lamont was in the right. He did the right thing. You get one of the best scenes, probably top 2 or 3 in all time in show history, once they are in the courtroom. You get Otis Littlejohn. You have Grady, you have Bubba, they're all there to cheer. That's the last thing. Just like with 3 Degrees, you don't want to bring an audience there. Lamont defends himself. Fred goes up there and makes such a compelling speech and fights for his rights. I demand justice. He gives a speech that would make his real-life good friend Malcolm X smile with envy and pride that Fred went up there, that Red was able to defend his son like that. It's got to be in there. And we know the classic courtroom scene. It's been shown all over YouTube. It's one of the best in the history of it. And like I said, Sonny Cochran discussing the whole thing with Grady and how Grady and Fred were so easily entertained. It's one of the best. The only reason I don't have it as 1 is because me personally, like the other 2 ahead of it. So let's get to it. Let's get to the top 2. But coming in, like I said, at 3 was Fred Legal Eagle. Number 2, all-time Sanford and Son. That is Rated X. Yeah, that's the very last episode of season 2. So it's right on the border of 3. I feel like it's season 3, how good it is. It got an 8.4 out of 10. Just 8.5, 8.4, right under Fred Sanford Legal Eagle. So it deserves, that's what I said. These top 3 are, you could put them in any order. That's just basically down to preference at your stage or my stage at this point. But in this one, and like I said, season 2, in this one, Lamont and Rollo, they want to get in movies. I don't want to pump gas all my life, and I don't want to work in a junkyard. And Fred says, well, why don't you pump gas and you work in a junkyard? It's got some great, all these have great quotes, great scenes from these. But they go to get in movies, right? And this is the hot time, man, for brothers to be out there. You can make a lot of money, and we know Lamont wants to be an actor. Fred says, well, why can't I get on this? And he shows up, he walks into it, and the director is hysterical. Wouldn't he be delicious in the harem scene? The way he calls Fred, and even Fred tells Rollo, hey, that director said I was delicious. It's so good, and it turns out to be a nudie movie, and they're about to get out of there, and the place gets raided. I don't want to do a whole breakdown, but then you get In Jail, which has great lines in that one. The exchange between Rollo and Fred is hysterical. Rollo would know how to handle jail, right? And then you get Esther. She's coming out there to bail him out. Just keep sucking on those suckers, you sucker. And man, there's nothing you can want more in an episode. It is one of the best. That's why I have it listed at number 2. Please tell me if you agree. Is Rated X deservedly at number 2? So yeah, that's it for number 2. Here we go, guys. We are at the end of this video, and our number 1 Sanford and Son all time. You have to, we were in a crowd, you would all shout it. We know what it is. It's Mama's Baby, Papa's Maybe. I cannot think of an episode that has ever been so well received and loved than this one. We all have even to me, it has my favorite all-time scene, which I've shared in the past, where Lamont tells Fred, "Hey, you know what, man? I don't care about this house, this car. I care about you." And then he even says, as long as my whole life it's been Sanford and Son, that's the way it's always going to be. That's always a tearjerker for me. So to have my favorite scene, I got to put this as well up there. When it comes to ratings, it is the highest rated Sanford and Son episode at 8.7. Like I said, season 3 again. Season 3 dominates the awards. If this was the Academy Awards, season 3 is the best by far. In this one, Big Money Grip with the swivel hips. You remember him? He comes in, or before that, Grady tells him, yeah, I don't want to do episode breakdown. Big Money Grip is just like Osgood Wilcox, probably more known when it comes to this. That's why it's a top episode, because everyone's seen this scene. Everyone's seen Esther say, "What you talking about?" and dropping the N-word on him, and ready to fight him, ready to kick his butt. And again, as I said with My Fair Esther, when you get Fred and Esther teaming up, man, that's like it's like Megatron and Optimus Prime, the two biggest rivals teaming up. You got them together. It's like, holy crap, watch out. And it's great comedy, great writing. It has emotions from laughter, from just hysteria to tears, to joy. It's got everything. And it's got such a it's a great Father's Day episode, which we'll cover at that point. But in that, when we see that Big Money Grip comes to town and says, "Hey, Lamont is my son." And he talks about how it's his kid, and now Fred and Esther are like, no, don't be slamming the name of my wife and her sister. And Lamont's like, I don't even care. I don't even care what the DNA is or who's biological. This is my pop right here. And it's such a great ending. And then we find out it was actually, spoiler alert, Esther. He went in Esther's room. And then Grip, I love Grip when he's just shocked and he's walking away. Me, her, ugh. You can watch it 100 times in a month, and unless you are just, I don't know, unless you don't have a funny bone, you will always find parts to make you laugh. So that is it with our top 10. Let me run it down real quick again. Coming in at number 1 was Mama's Baby, Papa's Maybe. Number 2 was Rated X. Number 3 was Fred Sanford, Legal Eagle. Coming in at 4 was Presenting the 3 Degrees. I love Leroy and Skillet in that episode. Number 5, Grady and His Lady. That's probably the most questioned one, I'm guessing, on this list. People will probably want to replace something else with Grady and His Lady. Number 6, Superflyer. Number 7, The Card Sharps. Card Sharps, maybe you can even put that above Grady and His Lady. Number 8, Coffins for Sale, same thing. Those are just like those seasons' staples, and they're so well loved. Number 9, Jealousy with Be of Good Cheer, Osgood is here. And number 10, this might be another one maybe people disagree with, My Fair Esther. I just can't see that one not being on here. That's one of my favorites. So thank you so much for watching. If you stayed this long to the end, or if you just jumped, skip to it. I hope you enjoyed the list. Please comment below. What am I missing? What would you take out and put in? What order do you have as the top 3? And if you haven't, like, subscribe. This channel's not going anywhere. It's only been here about 4 months, and it's going to keep growing, and it's going to keep getting better. Join our live shows. Join our YouTube shorts. Look at our quizzes and our polls and everything on our community page. We have people here that know each other, and it starts to grow and bond, because in the end, we all love the same thing. And that's Red Fox. That's Fred Sanford. That's Esther. That's Lamont. That's Grady. That's everything around here. That's Godzilla. That's a ball signed by J-A-C-K-Y, Jackie Robinson. You know, so... man, I love Sanford and Son, so please join our community and be part of it, and let's have a good time together. Have a great week. We still got Friday. This Friday's fun fact is going to be all on Nathaniel Taylor, Rollo, breaking down his history in acting and his life, and also in the show. So thanks a lot, guys. Give a like, and talk to you later. Peace. Say bye, Red.